Hello, thank you for joining me. So in this video I'd like to show you how to do the T-section. The T-section is an exercise in the back of our engineering design book in chapter number 1. And there's a couple different ways of doing it to get the very same result. And probably the easiest thing to do right now is to do the mirror command. So let's go ahead and do that. You want to make sure you open up your template file, and as soon as you do that you want to make sure you save it. Save it in the proper file format. And then, let's go ahead and get started. First thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you know what your dimensions are going to be. We have 3 dimensions. We have A across the bottom of the T, B, which is the height of the T, and then C is the thickness of the T. So A is going to be, in our example, 75 millimeters. B is going to be 100 millimeters high, and then our thickness is going to be C at 10 millimeters. And length ultimately is going to be 250 millimeters. So let's do this. Pick our front plane, go to Sketch, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a center line. So let's go from the origin, because we want the origin to be somewhere in the middle of our sketch, and it works really well with the T-section, so we're going to be able to get it in the middle there, unlike the L bracket that we did just previous to this. Well, let's go up. We need to go up about 100 millimeters, so we're going to get pretty close with that. So we'll get it at about 93 is what it says in the preview. Escape a couple times, and what we're going to do is we're going to draw that out. So let's draw this out roughly. Now it needs to go out, according to the book, it needs to go out by 75 millimeters. So if we do half that distance, somewhere around 40 is fine, 35 you can get it. Doesn't have to be exact. In fact, it's going to be really difficult to get it exact. We're going to go up by 10 millimeters. Then we're going to go back over, and then again we're going to go up this way. And you go up to the very top of that, and then go over. So now we kind of have half of that section of that T. So let's do this as dimension out. We're going to make that 10. That's going to be our thickness. And watch this. This is a little bit different when you're dealing with center lines. There's 2 ways of dimension using that center line. If we dimension from this line over here to that line, and we want to make that 10. If we put it on this side and type in 5, that's okay. It considers that a radius, because that center line, or construction line, but in this case it's considered a center line, it's going to think that really will be a center line, so that it's expecting some sort of geometry on the other side of it. So if you take that 4.39 dimension and actually drag it over this side, it doubles, which is kind of cool, and that's kind of what we want. So we're going to make that, put that on this side, snap it into place, and type in 10. See, it's expecting that we're going to continue that line on this side. So we're going to do the very same thing down here. We're going to click on this line and that center line again. And again, we want to make that, instead of about 35, we want to make that the full length of 75. So everything should almost be black except for this. Let's go ahead and click on this line. We want to make that 100. Okay, so what that is, it made this very top line black. Everything's black right now. It's fully defined. Let's go ahead and copy our sketch over. And we're going to use the mirror command to do that, and use this center line as a way to mirror that over. So one way to do that, if you click on this line down here, the line on top, go to select chain. It selects all the lines that are associated with that. And now that everything's selected, it turns a light blue color. We're going to go to the mirror entities button up here on our sketch toolbar in the command manager. And it filled in all those lines up here for us in this blue box. Remember, the blue box over here in our properties palette is waiting for some sort of input. And we can get that input simply by clicking on the objects in our modeling area. We're going to mirror it about this line. Pre-selection, it turns orange. Fully selected, it turns blue. Preview is yellow. And green check mark. Now we have our profile. One thing to note about this is now we have a continuous line across the bottom. We don't have that half line we drew and made a continuous line across the bottom. It did the same thing on top, which is very convenient. Alright, now we need to do our feature. Extrude boss base. Remember to choose mid-plane, because we want a plane right in the middle of this thing if we can do it, and we can do it. Type of 250 millimeters. Yellow is our preview, green check mark. Now we have our object. That's our T-section. Thank you for joining me. Join me for other videos.